Alright, it is up, it is up. Let us see. What? Do you ever just have those days where there is so much going on that you don't know where to even begin? Hey everybody, this is Falconwing, and today we're gonna go over all of the new stuff that came in the 3 new trailers for Pokemon Sun and Moon. There's new Pokemon and new characters and new locations from all over Alola. I don't want to waste any time on this, so let's just get right to it. Starting off, we have the new Pokemon called Type Null, which has now claimed the title for most bizarre Pokemon name in existence. Type Null is a normal type synthetic Pokemon that is anything but normal, created by humans from the best traits of other Pokemon species and meant to match the power of legendaries. This bizarrely named specimen seems to be Alola's answer to Mewtwo, though if I'm being honest, Dr. Fuji was much better at making cool synthetic Pokemon than whoever made this guy. And just like Film Mewtwo, this Pokemon wears a unique set of battle armor that is meant to... Well, Giovanni, why don't you explain?
You say this armor protects my body, yet it suppresses my powers.
Your powers are not being suppressed, they're being focused. Learn to use them to accomplish your purpose.
What is that?
Patience, my friend. Your purpose will become clear.
Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing shady going on with Type Null. Nothing at all. Next up, we have Jangmo-O. Okay, seriously, what is with these names? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right. Anyways, Jangmo-O is a dragon type with the ability of bulletproof or soundproof. Now, these little guys dedicate themselves to their warrior training, living in canyons away from other species of Pokemon. If I had to guess, I'd say it can be found here in the canyons of the westernmost island of Alola. I also think it's likely that Jangmo-O will end up being our pseudo-legendary Pokemon, much like Bagon or Dino or Geibel. And actually, now that I think about it, Jangmo-O does seem to share a lot of commonalities with Bagon, what with their personal aspirations for greatness. Now, some of our staff were talking with me earlier, and they were expressing their interest in Jangmo-O evolving into a draconic, griffin-esque creature, which sounds pretty awesome to me. I've also seen a few other predictions that have supported Dragon Steel for its durable scale plating, or Dragon Fighting due to its warrior nature. Any of those options sounds great to me. And then there's Alolan Raticate, who was confirmed on Pokemon.com last week. It doesn't change much from Alolan Rattata, but it is confirmed to be the totem Pokemon of Melee Island's Verdant Cavern in Pokemon Moon, making it a counterpart to Pokemon Sun's Gumshoos. There's also the little trivia bit about restaurants liking to use Alolan Raticate's taste buds to determine new ingredients or meals worth using. I have to ask, is it really a good idea to use a noted pest in your food testing? Anyways, expect this pudgy rotund rodent to be stabbed sucker punching anyone who dares make a fat joke about it. Oh. Wait. Not the face! Not the face! Not the face! Ah! And finally, though we don't yet have any sort of information on this one, a new Pokemon was shown for a brief moment in the Japanese story trailer. It looks very much like a potential evolution of Cutiefly and can be encountered in the Field of Red Flowers here. And yeah, that's pretty much all we've got on it. Today's trailers were very light on new Pokemon compared to others, but they made up for it with a whole bunch of new character reveals. Starting off, we have the Ether Foundation, which researches Pokemon and serves as a refuge for Pokemon abused by Team Skull. Their base is an artificial island called the Ether Paradise, which is most definitely this island here in the middle of Alola. We don't know much about the people running the Foundation, so let's go down the list really quick of what we do know. Lusamine is the president of the Foundation and is totally not the current island champion of Alola. Faba is the proud branch chief of the Foundation and likes green sunglasses. Wick is the assistant branch chief and is very caring, so everyone loves her. And the employees of the Ether Foundation oppose Team Skull and wear different uniforms depending on what branch they are a part of. They also seem to have a thing for large pouches and buttons, But hey, no one said that organizations in Pokemon had a good sense of fashion. So, either the Aether Foundation is truly a benevolent group that seeks to help others, and Lucamine is the strongest trainer in the region, or they secretly are a twisted and evil bunch of mad scientists who are bankrolling Team Skull and playing up their conflict to distract from their real crimes against nature. I think we know which one the internet is hoping for. We are also introduced to another Team Skull admin named Gladion. He serves the role of enforcer for the band of ruffians, places a high value on being strong in battle, and most notably is partnered with a type Null. Did he steal it? Was he part of the team that made it in the first place? Are there multiples of type Null just wandering around a burned down laboratory on one of the islands? Did the Aether Foundation provide Gladion with it as part of their dark schemes? Every time Pokemon shares more about Sun and Moon, I always find myself with new questions. And, most surprisingly, Dexio and Cena from Pokemon X and Y are in these games. You guys remember them, right? The mysterious masked individuals who ran around Kalos but were always getting beaten to saving the day by you? Well, they're also Professor Sycamore's assistants and are in Alola for the great Pokemon Zygarde Core and Cell Hunt. They will give you an item called the Zygarde Cube, which is horribly misnamed since it's a tetradecahedron, that will allow you to catch Zygarde cores and cells spread out all over the Alola region. Apparently, doing so will make the path to finding Zygarde in Sun and Moon more clear. Does that potentially mean that there's nothing to be gained from trading one up from X and Y? This is another feature that isn't elaborated on, but will probably represent a significant amount of side questing or post-game time. And, speaking of post-game time, oh, how I wish we had one of those. But this is a very good close second. In specific locations marked on your Rotom Dex map, you can find Pokemon Finder photo spots. There are a variety of Pokemon to be found in these spots, and they appear to move around in practice being absolutely adorable. You only have 6 shots at basic features at first, but taking more quality photos will unlock other features like the zoom function. Why is that not a basic feature again? You can select photos for evaluation and even share them with others, so it really is a miniature Pokemon Snap 3DS. I hope you guys really make the most of this feature and share your images with the world. Maybe then we can get a full console release of Snap 2? No word yet on whether Pokemon found through Pokefinder will be added to your Pokedex, but it'd be ridiculous for them to not be. I'd like to have an easy way to get Dragonite in my decks. Just saying. And now, at long last, the question of what makes Sun and Moon not just the same game with different names and legendaries has been answered. Aside from the usual collection of version exclusives, we have also learned that time works a little differently depending on which game you play. Pokemon Sun will follow your internal 3DS clock, while Pokemon Moon will shift everything by 12 hours. In other words, Pokemon Moon's daytime is night, which will probably be very beneficial to Night Owl players. Game director Shigeru Omori has also confirmed that certain in-game events will also be different between versions. It does certainly appear that Sun and Moon are promising to make full use of the day-night cycle, and at the very least, we've already seen some great examples of how the game's lighting and atmosphere are being influenced by the theme of Sun and Moon. I mean, come on, just look at these! There's a new threat in Alola, and it's taking the form of something pretty weird. These creatures are referred to as Ultra Beasts, and they are feared for posing potential risk to humans and Pokemon alike. So does that mean these things are not Pokemon themselves? The Aether Foundation is currently doing research on them, and supposedly there are multiple Ultra Beasts to be found. Thus far, we've only heard about UB01, though I'm assuming from the double-digit format that there are at least 10. UB01 is a shapeshifter made up of a glass-like substance. It does seem to display some sort of survival instincts, but nothing else about its behavior is currently known. It's said that it displays movements like that of a young girl. Is there a specific way that all young girls move? which has already fueled some speculation on how UB01 relates to the mysterious Lily. So, that covers all the big stuff, but there's so many little things that were shown off in the trailers that I'm just gonna rapid fire through them here. Ready? Go! Cena and Dexio both wear some kind of bracelet on their left arm, which looks suspiciously like a Mega Ring. You'll meet Dexio and Cena here, which looks to be that same hotel from the initial concept art shown during Sun and Moon's announcement. Also, Sun and Moon has street signs. That's different. There's several good shots of different cities around Alola. This one is of a floating city, likely this location. Each houseboat, seems to be based on a different water-type Pokemon, except for this one back here. This is most definitely a Steelix head. Water-type Alolan Steelix? It seems unlikely, but it's a fun idea. In this shot, we can see a thriving Alolan city being visited by Shady Penguin. But, more importantly, we can see stores for styling your hair, purchasing clothes or TMs, and one that looks like it sells either potions or bitter medicine. Likely, this location is here. This city is likely located here, and is really only notable for confirming that there is no Alolan Poliwhirl or Magnemite, and showing that multiple clothing stores can be found around Alola. This city shot on Akala Island seems to finally confirm what that strange large building on the map is. Based on the Machamp and Hariyama balloons, I'd say this is likely the Battle Royale Stadium. Hairstyling is back in a number of different colors and styles, and you can go hatless for once. Hala fights using a Cabrawler. Gladian's hand has been getting a lot of attention from the community. Some of our staff are theorizing that it's a play on the Chunibyo style, which is where teenagers in Japanese culture behave as though the world is fantastical and full of conspiracies and that they possess some kind of power. It's not too dissimilar from a Wayne of Fire Emblem Awakening. However, it might be weird seeing someone say their Pokeball hand hungers. Type Null does bear something of a resemblance to Arceus, though we can't really make any definitive statements on it. There's a lot of talk recently in the community about Diamond and Pearl remakes, even going so far as to point out that Dexio and Cena have Diamond and Pearl colored sunglasses. There's definitely a discussion to be had on that topic, but I'll save that for a later date. And finally, let's close by sharing these wonderfully done overlays of Alola with the new scenes from today's trailers brought to you by PLDH.net. Alright, is that everything? I think so. Please let us know if we missed anything. This breakdown was tough to put together, but I couldn't have done it without our amazing Bulbagarden staff. They're a real bunch of troopers. And thank you to everyone here watching another Pokemon breakdown from Bulbagarden, the original Pokemon community. We'll see you in just a few days when we cover the next bit from Coral Magazine. And until then, take care, trainers.